initial debt amount non-pro-tunc. 21, resolution authorizing budget transfers, 2020 municipal budget. 22, authorize tax collectors transfer overpayments on taxes and utilities. 23, approved purchase by the construction code official under New Jersey State Contract 17 Fleet 00210/T2099 vehicles, trucks, pickup, Class 1, with Hertridge Fleet Services Incorporated for two 2021 Ram 1500 tradesman vehicles with options not to exceed $56,037.60. 24, approve authorization to rebid for tax, water, and sewer billing and collection software, maintenance, and software support services, rebid specification number 870-21 RFP. 25, release of site performance guarantee in the amount of $20,149.20 and balance of site inspection fees of $1,870.57 to Pentecostal Church of God, Incorporated, 176 Paul Robeson Boulevard, formerly Commercial Avenue, Block 192, Lot 19.01. 26, Amendment of Resolution R122025, reason new dates, approve relaxation of the city noise ordinance and road closure requested by Maxim Crane Works to replace an emergency backup generator on the rooftop of the Middlesex County Administration Building located at 75 Byard Street. Road closures, Kirkpatrick Street from Byard Street to Patterson Street. The new date, Saturday, December 2020. The alternate date is Saturday, December 26, 2020. The hours are 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Number 27, authorize release of escrow and duplicate permit fees to Oil Tank Services, $2,500, Schiff Holdings LLC, $3,125 for oil tank removal at 186 Livingston Avenue. 28, approve amendment of resolution R062020 to add $42,797 of DOT encumbered funds to project an unencumbered $42,797 of capital improvement funds from the project with Esposito Construction LLC for Georges Road Improvement specification number 939-20. 29, approve award of contract with Maxim Quality Foods Incorporated to furnish and deliver food products for the Senior Citizen Resource Center. It's a 12-month term commencing December 19th, 2020 and ending December 18th, 2021. Specification number 861-20P, not to exceed $19,731.92. Number 30, approve award of contract with mcdonnell Group Incorporated, doing business as mcdonnell LLC, for engineering services for Remsen Avenue Water Main Upgrade Project, specification number 88920 RFP, not to exceed $104,700, fair and open. 31, approve amendment of resolution R121946 to extend the contract for one additional year with Garrison Enterprise Incorporated to furnish, deliver, and install insertion valves, line stops, emergency valve repair, and replacement for the water utility. Term is 12-month period commencing December 22nd, 2020 and ending December 21st, 2021. Specification number 783-19W, not to exceed $100,000. Number 32, approve award of contract 3 years with Municipal Inspection Corporation for on-site elevator inspections. It's a 3-year period commencing January 5th, 2021 and ending January 4th, 2024. Specification number 886-21P. 33, approve Chapter 159 budget insertion to Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, Round 1 for CARES Act. The amount is $510,036. 34, approve Chapter 159 budget insertion to Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, Round 2 for CARES Act in the amount of $768,861. Number 31, approve resolution to refer amendments of the Land Development Ordinance to the Planning Board and review and report in regards to application fees. Number 36, authorized resolution to enter into a partnership with New Brunswick Tomorrow to administer the Neighborhood Preservation Program Grant COVID Relief Fund for the Esperanza neighborhood. 37, approve resolution to relax portions of the regulations of the Rent Control Ordinance for periods not to exceed 12 months in regards to the COVID-19 related rental decreases. 38, authorize professional service agreement with InSync Municipal Systems doing business as First Bite Corporation for maintenance and support of city software a 12-month period commencing December 17, 2020, and ending December 16, 2021. Specification is number 88420 RFP, not to exceed $40,000, fair and open. 39 is a resolution of the City of New Brunswick and the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, providing for a special emergency appropriation pursuant to New Jersey Statute Annotates 440A, 4-53M, to fund a deficit in operations and authorizing the issuance of special emergency notes pursuant to NJSAA 40A and 40-55. Number 40, a resolution authorizing the City of New Brunswick to join the Hunterdon Area Energy Cooperative, HAEC, in connection with the City of New Brunswick Government Energy Aggregation Program. We then have items for discussion by council, including the OEM COVID-19 update. We then have public comment, and a reminder, our next City Council meeting is Wednesday, December 30th at 4 p.m. Okay, so the meeting will come to order at this time. Clerk will please call the roll.
Councilmember Egan.
Here.
Councilmember Escobar.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Here.
Council President Anderson.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick has been filed with the City Clerk, has been placed on the appropriate bulletin board and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows of the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Additionally, a 48-hour notice of the time, place, and manner of conducting this meeting has been made by the City Clerk on December 14, 2020, as is required by law. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has issued executive orders limiting the size of public gatherings. The City Council will meet this evening with all voting members of the City Council remotely by telephonic conferencing system. The City Council intends to meet on a regular schedule and will meet the guidelines of the Open Public Meetings Act by utilizing teleconferencing systems. Public participation at public meetings has been revised, and the public may participate through a conference call-in system. The public is encouraged to call into the conference call system through the phone numbers and access codes transmitted in the 48-hour notice and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows. Some city employees will also be available via conference call during this meeting as well. All on the conference call will have the opportunity to hear the City Council meeting. During the portions of the meeting that are not open for a public comment, all callers from the public will be muted, and the council will not be able to hear any public comment through the conference call system. During the public comment period, those on the conference call-in lines who have interest in addressing the council will first be organized by last name and then called upon to speak. After all organized members of the public speak, and they are to speak once and for no more than 5 minutes in any given public meeting portion, a timer will chime at the completion of each 5-minute period, and I will notify you that your time has expired. Public needing assistance accessing the call-in number should call City Hall at 732-745-5007. At this time, if you're able, would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by our City Clerk?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you could pause for a moment of silence to remember our men and women in our armed forces, both here and abroad, especially those who have given the ultimate sacrifice of their life, for those who have come back hurt, disabled. We pause. Thank you. We have the
Motion to accept the minutes. Motion to accept the minutes.
Here, second. Here, roll call.
Second.
Okay.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig. Yes. Council President Anderson.
Yes, thank you. We have a report of correspondence by the city clerk's office.
Council President, the correspondence received by the city clerk's office has been forwarded to the appropriate department for further action.
Thank you. Public hearings, we have none other than our ordinances. So we have some ordinances for discussion on second reading. Number 1 is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 3, Revenue and Finance, Chapter 328, Fee Schedule, Section 328-120, Parks and Recreation Fees, to amend the recreation permit fees. We will now open it up to the public. We will take your names. This is the second meeting, so we'll start with the second half of the alphabet. If you'd like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, would you please shout out your name when I call out the letter of your last name? All right. N.
Unmuted.
P. Q. R. S. T. U. V. W. X. Y. Z. A. B. C. D. E. F. G. H. I. J. K. L. M.
Danielle Moore.
Ms. Moore, okay, thank you. Anyone else? Second time, anybody A through Z? If you'd like to speak on this ordinance, please shout out your last name. And for the third time, I'll ask, anybody A through Z, last name? If you'd like to speak on this ordinance, would you shout out your last name? Okay, not hearing anybody else, we'll start. Madam Clerk, first person.
Council President, we have Miss Danielle Moore.
Okay,
Muted.
you are up. Go ahead. If you give your name and address for the record, thank you.
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore, 272 Hamilton Street. Yes, you can tell me what this is for full detail, please?
It's basically to take care of the permit fees that are off hours, especially since we have to have somebody at a park or something for overtime or something like that. So that has to do with the off hours.
So maintenance or something? This is,
Yeah, yes.
and so this is for all parks or certain parks?
It's for all the parks.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Madam Clerk, is that it?
Yes, Council President.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig. Yes. Council President Anderson.
Yes. We have number 2, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 2, Administration and Personnel, Chapter 2.64, Department of Police, in regard to police extra duty rates for 2021 through 2024. Again, we'll open it up to the public. If you'd like to speak on this ordinance, please shout out your last name as I call out the letters. Last name begins with N.
Unmuted.
Q. R. S. T. U. V. W. X. Y. Z. A. B. C. D. E. F. G. H. I. J. K. L. M.
Harley Cradaville.
Thank you, Ms.
Danielle
Stradiville.
Moore.
Danielle Moore, okay. All right, second time, anybody A through Z that would like to speak on this ordinance, would you please shout out your last name? And a third time, A through Z, if you'd like to speak on this ordinance, would you please shout out your last name? Okay, not hearing any more. Madam Clerk, who's first up?
Muted.
President, the first person on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Mr. Cradaville, you're up. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Mr. Council President, members of the council, Charles Cradaville, Sedam Street, New Brunswick, the editor of New Brunswick Today. I had a few questions about this one. I'd like to ask what is being changed, what prompted the changes, and we've seen allegations of corruption and abuse in these types of programs in other cities like Jersey City and Edison. So what controls or accountability measures are there in there to make sure that this type of program is not exploited?
Mr. Goldberg or Captain Miller, do you want to talk?
Council President, this is I'm sorry. Council President, this is Brandon Goldberg. The only change is the rate. It does not take into account any other changes.
Okay, so the rates are going up about a buck or $1.50 or something like that, right?
$2.50 from 2021 to 2020 to 2021 per hour.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Cradaville.
Yeah, and I do want to comment on the component of this that gives the state theater a special rate. I question that, not because I don't like the state theater. I think we all appreciate having that institution here, but I don't really feel that it's right for the council to single out a one entity, one organization in town to get a discount or special rate. I think what might make more sense would be to have a discounted rate for nonprofits, or come up with some standard that is defensible and makes sense. I don't think it's fair to single out a single entity like that and give them special treatment under the law. Maybe Mr. Shammy can comment on that, or maybe you'll agree with me.
Mr. Goldberg, I think you have it, or Mr. Shammy.
There's, Mr. Council President, there's nothing inappropriate about it. I mean, it's the discretion of the City Council based upon recommendation of the police department. It's been a long-standing relationship with the State Theater. The discounted rate, my understanding, goes back many, many years. And the State Theater obviously provides, certain arts and cultural events for the residents of the city. And I believe that was probably the motivation behind it, but there's nothing inappropriate about it. It's obviously up to the discretion of the council ultimately.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Cradaville.
Sure. I'll just say that just because something's been done a certain way for a long time doesn't mean that it's the right way or that it must continue or should continue. Just think that this could be done in a better way, and we're encouraged the council to pursue that so that other nonprofit entities could potentially avail themselves of a discount rather than having a law that singles out a specific organization for a discount. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, next up.
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Ms. Moore, you are up on this ordinance. Go ahead.
Yes, if I heard you correctly, I wasn't able to get the ballot today or get it offline today. If I heard you correctly, did you say that the police officers were to receive $1 or $2 raise?
Yes, it's a $1 to $1.50.
Council President, this is Brandon Goldberg again. It's the increase would be $2.50 from 2020 to 2021.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. So, okay, Ms. Moore, you heard that?
What's the raise going up all the way? What's the raise all the way up to 2024? How much are they getting for the whole 4 years? By 2024, it will be $89 per hour. Go up $8 over 4 years.
Hello?
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Cradaville. Yes, go ahead, Ms. Moore.
Yes, I feel that I don't even see no need for a raise for New Brunswick Police Department. I feel they get overpaid compared to all the other townships anyway. And due to where you're saying you're able to do a raise for every officer, you're able to purchase all this equipment, but you keep saying, wow, you can't buy body cameras. I don't understand how the police department is getting so much attention with money-wise, but it's a difference between where you keep saying you don't have money for body cameras. And like I said, for New Brunswick Police Department, due to where I know they've been getting many complaints of, wow, what, just sitting in parking lots? It's like I said, you can do anything in front of a police officer now before they handle anything. I feel that, wow, New Brunswick gets paid top of the line out of these other states. I don't even see why the city is really considering a raise for New Brunswick Police Department, due to where I think we need a raise of attention from the New Brunswick Police Department, due to where so many crimes and so many things are going on. Regards to where I don't feel they need a raise. I don't even see why you do it. You make a big situation where I ask for a raise for the crossing guards risking their lives. Wow, you're ready to go towards the police officers. I don't see where this is going. Where, like I said, I don't feel that New Brunswick needs a raise on this. Thank you.
Okay, Council.
Thank
Council
you.
Council
President.
President?
On that.
Go ahead.
Council President, this is Captain Miller. If I could just comment on
Yeah.
this, Ms. Moore's comment. Ms. Moore,
Sure.
I think you're a little confused. This is not a raise for all police officers. This is an increase in the rate that's charged to vendors who hire police officers off duty. This does not apply to the police officers that are working on the street as police officers. This is when you see construction companies and road companies, working in the street, and they have an officer there for traffic safety. But this is money charged to the vendors. This is not money that the city pays the officers with.
Right.
Thank
Councilwoman
you so
Esty.
much for clearing that up. Thank you.
No, I was going to say, I'm glad that Captain Miller addressed that, because that was going to be my comment for him to clarify that this is just extra duty rate. It's not for the regular job. So thank
Correct.
you.
Okay. That's it, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Council President. There are no
Thank
more
you.
members of the public on the list.
Move the ordinance.
Second. Roll call?
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig,
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. We now have an ordinance of number 3, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 8, Health and Safety, Chapter 840, Solid Waste Collection and Disposable, Section 840-040-C, Regulations in regard to recycling containers. If any member from the public would like to talk on this ordinance, would you please shout out your last name as I call out the letters for your last name? N-O-P
Unmuted.
QRS TUV WXYZ ABC DEF GHI JKLM.
Danielle Moore.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. For the second time, anybody with the last name letters A through Z that would like to talk on this ordinance, would you please shout out your last name? And we'll ask a third time, anybody from the public, A through Z, that would like to talk on this ordinance, would you please shout out your name? Okay, Madam Clerk, first up.
Council President, we have Ms. Danielle Moore.
Muted.
Okay, Ms. Moore, you go ahead.
Hi, yes, before I start off with my story, would you please tell me what this is for regards to recycling for New Brunswick, please, before I make my speech?
Sure, it's for the recycling containers. Basically, if people get 2 free ones if they've just moved in. Also, basically, if they need new ones, they can bring the old ones in. And we have anything else, Mr. Valenti or Ms. McGuire?
Hi, everyone. Erin McGuire. I'm the new recycling coordinator for the city of New Brunswick, replacing Donna Caputo. The only other thing, Council President, that's on it is we're setting the price for recycling containers. $12 for the 20-gallon containers and $18 for the 32-gallon containers.
Thank you.
So
Hey, Ms. Moore,
I think I heard two different stories, that you can trade them in and get them free, and then I heard price-wise. So what is, if you can explain, what is she saying
Sure.
due to what the price is?
okay, Ms. McGuire, you want to clarify my comments?
Sure. So, Ms. Moore, if you're a new homeowner in New Brunswick, if you provide a deed within the first, if you provide a deed proving that you're a resident here, you get 2 free 20-gallon containers. And if you want to purchase additional containers, this is just setting a price for both of those containers. We sell 20-gallon as well as 32-gallon. And then if you choose to buy one from the city, you can trade it in if you bring it back to us at no charge. So it's a good service. And we're just basically memorializing rules that we follow at the Department of Public Works already, but now we're just putting it in the ordinance to make sure that these are always here to serve the residents of New Brunswick.
Well, okay, now, see, this is what I'm coming to and understand. Why for the past 2 years, where the city never said this, how they ordered everyone for no recycling, no clear bags for recycling, that they must get a blue container, that they had to buy them from this New Brunswick City department, due to where, like I said at the last meeting, it was a scam that the city did, stating that the recycling company said they would no longer take any recycling in clear bags. It has been 2 years since those 2 ordinances have went through, and due to where how after the people, most of New Brunswick bought the recycling bins, that's where the recycling company was told, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. They told us just to take clear bags anyway. Like I said, this was a scam that the city really did, just for, instead of telling residents, just like you did now, that's how it used to be. If you was a new owner, you would get the cans free. But you, for the past 2 years, you've been telling people that they had to buy them. It was all about the clear bag. Please explain that to me. What is the difference now? Now they're still accepting clear bags after you made so many residents pay for new cans because you said the company was no longer taking any clear bags. Now, Ms. Donna told me at the last time she was at City Council that, okay, they were at Railroad Avenue with the inspectors tagging no more clear bags. Now, so all the areas that had their 3 times for recycling, how now they're still taking the clear bags in the same area? There's a scam going on with the city as far as these recycling bins for the past 2 years, and now you're saying they're free if you're a new resident, and that wasn't how it was before.
As far as I know, it was always that way. I don't know, Mr. McGuire or Mr. Valenti, do you want to talk on that?
I know that we're not done with the city of New Brunswick yet with the clear plastic bags that you're talking about, Ms. Moore. I know that there's a few more zones in the city that we want to cover. So I know that Solterra, our company, is currently taking the clear plastic bags in the areas that we haven't gone to 3 times. In the interim.
I have video of areas that you said that you went through already from the city. I have on video. If you would like to see where, like I said, the areas that you said were done through inspection, where the workers, the recycling workers, were told to take the recycling bags anyway.
All right. So if you want to share that video with me, that would be totally fine.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. The time has expired at this time. Thank you.
Already, you shouldn't be taking the bags anymore.
Okay.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig,
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. We now have the ordinances on first reading, but we have none there. We have resolutions 1 through 40. At this time, again, we are preparing to open the meeting to the public comment on the resolutions only for up to 5 minutes per person in order to assure that City Council can hear from the interested public and that the public can hear public comment. I will organize the speakers in order by last name. In a moment, I will unmute the public call-in. At that time, I'll ask for you to provide me with your last name. Again, first name, last name. We'll start with the second half of the alphabet. And after asking 3 times, I will then close the public portion. And reminder for your voice, it's being transmitted telephonically and speaking slowly and clearly for the benefit of all. Again, I'll ask you to please remain silent when I initially unmute the phone so that we can all hear each other and then begin the speaker registration process. All other members of the public will be muted in order to assure that the City Council can clearly hear and understand that you recognized one speaker, one time up to 5 minutes that you have. If there's anybody that'd like to talk on the resolutions 1 through 40, would you please shout out your last name as I give the last letters? N-O-P.
Unmuted.
Q-R-S. T-U-V. W-X-Y-Z. A-B-C. D-E-F. G-H-I. J-K-L-M.
Charlie Cradaville.
Cradaville, thank you.
Danielle Moore.
Ms. Moore, got you. Anybody else asking for a second time? Anybody? A through Z, last name begins with one of those letters. Would you please shout out your last name? And asking a third time, A through Z, anybody would like to talk on any of the resolutions, would you please shout out your name? All right, not hearing any more. Madam Clerk, our first speaker.
Council President, our first speaker is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Muted.
Mr. Cradaville, you're up first. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Again, Charles Cradaville. I have a number of resolutions I want to ask about, so I'll move quick. The first one is item number 6, advice and consent to Keith Jones on the Traffic Commission. Do we still have a Traffic Commission? When was the last time they met? When are they going to meet again?
Mr. Barron, maybe you know.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Council President. There is still a traffic commission in existence. As you know, a lot of the meetings have been impacted by the pandemic and the COVID-19 outbreak, but that absolutely does still exist.
And when will they be meeting again? They have not met since March, I believe.
I will look into getting that answer and getting the schedule for 2021.
Okay, thank you. Because I do think that some of the boards, and this has been the case before the pandemic, some of the boards have, fallen into bad habits or not been meeting regularly. And I know that, there could be an improvement in terms of, obviously we're able to have a meeting tonight right now using this technology. So there's no reason that the Traffic Commission couldn't be having a meeting. And in fact, as I pointed out, you have the technology to have a video meeting, and for some reason we're not using that tonight, but I'd like to see that used more. I'll comment next on item number 8, consenting to Rent Control Board appointments, Barbara Blackwell. I don't have an opinion one way or the other if she's a good member of the board or not, but I do want to comment that there is a litigation against the board right now. ESN USA Properties LLC, and among the allegations in there challenging of a determination of the Rent Control Board in Superior Court, they're contending that Ms. Blackwell recused herself from an application, but she stayed in the room and sat throughout the whole hearing. And I can see it both ways there. I think that this would be another reason why these types of boards should be on video. Should be just like in the old days, you would have a staff member record the city council meeting and post it to the website. If the rent board was doing that, Ms. Blackwell could have left the room, completed a proper recusal without having to stay there and still got to see the hearing. And so I think that is something that all the boards should really be employing, whether it's a remote meeting or not. Use video, make a recording, and share it with the public. It's not hard. Moving on to item 11, Kevin McTernan being reappointed to the Parking Authority Board. I think this is a mistake. I was just at the Parking Authority Board this meeting tonight. For some reason, he was absent. The board did not meet in November. And, under his leadership, the Parking Authority is really struggling right now, unable to make the pilot payment this year. Some of their projects have been failures. And ultimately, they have too cozy of a relationship with Mr. McTernan's employer, Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, which happens to be their biggest customer. So I think he is not the right choice, and especially not considering he was absent from tonight's meeting. And I believe they're moving to have less meetings next year than they did this year. I do want to ask about item 15, the 1033 program. Can somebody in the police department tell us what equipment has been acquired from the Department of Defense recently, and what, if anything, they hope to obtain by renewing this participation in the program?
Captain Miller, do you want to comment on that?
Sure. We haven't applied for or received any equipment since the last time Mr. Cradiville asked, and I gave a breakdown of what we received. And that this is a program we've been involved in for years. We renew the resolution every year so we can remain in it. There's no plans to get anything in the near future. But if equipment comes up that we do need, we do search the database and see if it's available. But in the near future, there is nothing on the horizon that we're looking for.
Go ahead, Mr. Cradiville. Cradiville?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Item 18, maybe Mr. Dominguez can help me understand what changes to residential parking standards are proposed.
Dominguez, 18.
Sorry, I was trying to find the unmute button. I apologize. So let me pulling up number 18. So there are a few amendments proposed here. One would be for an increase in the parking requirement above certain bedroom counts to discourage overcrowding. Improvements on site triangle setbacks for better visibility at intersections, an allowance for temporary vestibules that restaurants sometimes want to use during the winter months, and an amendment to the fee schedule for certain things that have never been charged for before, but probably should be to compensate the department for its time.
Okay, Mr. Cradiville?
Yes. So thank you for that. Can I also hear about the next one, the pandemic funds, and what exactly those are going to?
Mr. Dominguez, 19.
Yep. Mr. Cradiville, you were at at my amendment hearing last week. So this is $665,000 toward business grants, and then the remainder to cover administration and planning costs related to COVID-19 relief and response.
Okay. Yes, I was there, and so I understand what you're talking about now. I'd like to ask about 36, which is the New Brunswick Tomorrow COVID Relief Fund.
Yes, Ms. Eldon.
The timer has rang.
Okay,
It's
all right,
up
well,
to you if you like this.
this is the last one, Mr. Cradiville. You want number 36?
Sure. I'll answer. This is in my wheelhouse also. The city partnered with New Brunswick Tomorrow on the Neighborhood Preservation Program grant earlier this year, and the state granted an additional funds toward to the grant of $237,600 toward business grants in the Esperanza neighborhood. So this is authorizing the the, I guess, agreement with Esperanza for them to help us with the administration of that grant.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, Madam Clerk.
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Ms. Moore, you are up on the resolutions. Go ahead, please.
Hi, once again, I would like to start off with number 6 with Keith Jones with traffic.
Okay.
So regards to this, what is Mr. Mitch in charge or everything? Would you tell me the difference? What is Mr. Jones going to be in charge of?
This is just to be on the Traffic Commission board, of which he's already on. It's just a reappointment to the board that he's already on.
Okay, so everyone's same position, like Mr. Mitch is basically still in charge.
I think that would be everything, right, Mr. Barron?
Yes, no additional changes to that board, just the reappointment of Mr. Jones.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, as well, just like I know Mr. Charlie Cradaville was the first one to speak on it, I did speak to Mr. Jones on it. When they do start doing their meetings, I pray that they start recording because, like I said, so many people not showing up and then changing the situations, what was said there and changing it from the city council. I know you've noticed that recognized, so I hope when the meetings do start, they do be video just like city council. Please, thank you. My next question is for 17 Jersey Avenue Roadway.
Number 17, okay. Mr. Valenti?
Yes, back in September, there was a significant 12-inch water main break on Jersey Avenue between Van Dyke and Triangle Road. It heaved the road, pushed the road up, and it required to have the roadway, basically replace that on the location. So these funds, we funded through Public Works funding and engineering funding in order to effect the repairs on the roadway to the satisfaction of the NJDOT.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you. And my last one is 29 with the donations for the senior citizens. Thank you on that. But I would like to know this for every senior citizen in New Brunswick, any senior citizen building in New Brunswick?
Yes, it's for the, I believe, distribution of some food there. Ms. Ford's not here, but I know we have a substitute. Would you like to speak on that?
Yes, I would. Hi, it's Lisa Trulis. I am the social worker at the New Brunswick Senior Citizen Resource Center. That funding is for the congregant meal program. Folks who participate in that must be 60 years of age or older. And in our location, a resident of the city of New Brunswick. And they can, when we are open, we are right now closed to the public, like all the other buildings in the city. But when we do reopen and we can resume our previous level of services, one of those things is a congregant noontime meal.
So
Okay, thank you.
I know New Brunswick has what I believe at least 3 or 4 senior citizen buildings in New Brunswick. So if they will all be included if the person wants to participate.
Yes, anybody who is age 60 or over are able to come in and have the congregate meal when we are open.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just want to clarify that, Ms. Moore.
welcome.
3 or 4 senior centers? I'm not sure what you're meaning.
Oh,
Ms. Moore, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Well, maybe my mistake. I thought one on Harvey Street was a senior citizen building.
No, we just have the one that, yeah, that's, they just do, there's a lot of seniors there or whatever, but we only have one senior citizen resource center by Bugalo Park there.
Okay, because like I said, I'm glad you said that to me because like I said, I know a lot of buildings are saying they're senior citizen buildings, like the one over on Remsen Avenue by Gambino's. then the old Law Sterling School. How when it comes to renting out, how they're only claiming that they're a senior citizen building.
Right, yeah, I believe that's under the direction, the one by Gambino at the St. Mary's Senior Center is run, not by the city or anything like that, though. Okay, I understand. Thank you.
President, may I?
Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
Hi, I just wanted to provide some clarification. Ms. Moore, what you are talking about, that 260 Remsen, 55 Harvey, 217 Somerset Street, 116 Livingston Avenue, 90 Nielsen, and 40 Hazard, those are senior citizen residence buildings, like the folks live there. What we are at 81 Huntington Street is the Resource Center. We are a Monday through Friday program that is open to the seniors of New Brunswick.
Okay, thank you. I understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're so
Appreciate it.
welcome. You're welcome.
Madam Clerk, is that the, anybody else?
Council President, there are no more members of the public on the list.
Move the resolutions. Second.
Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. At this time, we'll have a report from the OEM COVID-19 update report with Director Rawls.
Mr. Council President, this is Sergeant Lemmerling. I'll be reporting on behalf of Director Rawls, if that's all right.
Yes, absolutely, Sergeant. Go ahead.
All right, so again, this is Sergeant Lemmerling from New Brunswick Police Office of Emergency Management. As everybody can tell, we're currently experiencing what is expected to be our first major winter storm in quite some time. As of 2 o'clock today, Governor Murphy has issued a state of emergency, and that's under EO 208. The governor has all the information for the winter storm under ready.nj.gov. As of the latest reports, we're expecting snow to turn from snow to sleet about 2 a.m. in the morning, and then back to heavier snow. And we're right in that area where we're about 8 to 12 inches of snow expected through tomorrow. So we're asking everybody to please be safe and stay off the roads if at all possible. As it relates to COVID, the vaccine is finally here. We've all been waiting for that call for some good news regarding COVID-19, and the first vaccine being here is a huge first step. Healthcare workers and residents of long-term care facilities like nursing homes will be the first to receive it, as well as hospitals and people in the emergency medical field. We anticipate additional groups shortly after the new year. There hasn't been an exact time frame yet. The distribution of the vaccines are going to be in phases, which haven't been exactly clarified just yet. This is a fluid situation, so they're working on it at the NJDOH as well as the county health. As far as we know, the county health and Department of Health are working on creating multiple vaccination sites, including 6 major sites. Those locations are undetermined at this time. At this time, we don't know if any vaccination sites will be within the city of New Brunswick itself. As information comes along from the Department of Health, we'll be passing it along to the City Council as well, and to let our residents know. Please be sure to discuss any concerns with healthcare with your healthcare professional in regards to any COVID-19 vaccinations if you have any concerns. We continue to see a lot of cases across the city and state. New Brunswick itself is also seeing a spike in cases, not quite as bad as we had in the first phase, in the first wave, I should say, back in March and April, but the numbers have steadily been rising as of the last month or so. So we're asking our residents to please consider not traveling. It's highly discouraged during this holiday season, as is large family gatherings. COVID-19 testing for tomorrow has actually been postponed due to the winter storm. We are also not expecting to have the site on Joyce Gilmer Avenue next week as well. The information we're receiving is that the testing sites in Piscataway will continue through next week, and they will be in contact with us as far as when the testing will return to New Brunswick. The city continues to share updated information about COVID-19 on our website and social media. In the podcast with our PIO, Burt Barron, as well as Mayor Cahill, are on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They can also be found on the city website, cityofnewbrunswick.org. That's all I have for now. We'll be monitoring, the OEM will be monitoring the storm in case of any major incidents that we need to handle. Hopefully there'll be none, so please stay safe, stay home, stay healthy, and have a happy holiday.
Thank you, Sergeant. You too. At this time, we have any items by discussion by council members? I've got some. We'll start with Councilwoman Suzanne Sikora Ludwig. Anything?
Yeah, I just want to encourage everyone to use the city website, because you can always get information regarding emergency situations there. And I know they'll probably have something posted about where you can park if you're on one of the emergency streets in our city. And then I want to wish a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody too. And regardless of which holiday you celebrate, may you do it safely, in good health and peace. And that is all I have tonight, Council President.
Thank you. Councilwoman.
Nothing for tonight, just Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Egan.
Yeah, wishing everybody and their family a great Christmas, great holiday. Be safe and healthy out there. Thank you.
And Councilman Fleming.
Just Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everybody. Stay safe and stay off the roads unless you have to.
I also would like to wish everybody, especially our Jewish friends, as Hanukkah begins today. Also, again, with the snow, please stay safe if you possibly can. Stay off the roads. Don't forget to shovel your sidewalks. Make that clear. Check around if you can for any fire hydrants that may be snowbound or anything like that. And if you could help out getting that cleared, that would be nice. New Brunswick does have some emergency snow streets, so please try and get off there so the plows can do their job. I'd also like to remind people as they go into the winter with the fire pits that they might have in their backyard to please be careful with those, as the embers can fly away. There should be a grill on top of these fire pits. So if any neighbor or anybody sees anything that's fire, please feel free to call the fire department, and they'll come out and tell the people what they need to do if it's not already in compliance with these fire pits that we're seeing. And just another reminder that our next meeting, the end of the year meeting, is on December 30th, and it starts at 4 o'clock. Again, that's 4 p.m. so we can finish up the year end. Okay. All right, we're now coming to the public comment portion. We're preparing to open the meeting to public comment for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. In order to assure that the City Council can hear from the interested public and that the public can hear public comment, I will organize the speakers in order by last name. In a moment, I will unmute the public call-in. At that time, I will ask for you to provide me with your last name. After asking 3 times, I then close the public comment portion. Again, please be mindful that your voice is being telephonically transmitted and to speak slowly and clearly for the benefit of all. I will ask that you please remain silent when I initially unmute the phone so that we can all hear each other and then begin the speaker registration process. All other members of the public will be muted in order to assure that the City Council can clearly hear you and you alone and understand the recognized speaker. All right, so we'll open it up to the public once again. If your last name begins with one of the letters,
Unmuted.
please call out your last name. We can put you on the list. We'll start with the letters N-O-P, Q-R-S, T-U-V, W-X-Y-Z, A-B-C, D-E-F, G-H-I, JKLM.
Danielle Moore.
I got you, Miss Moore. Who was the other person?
Charlie.
Mr. Cradible, got you. Anybody else would like to have a say in a public comment? A through Z is asking for a second time. And for a third time, A through Z. Anybody that'd like to make a comment? Okay, we'll start with our first one then. Madam Clerk, our first person up would be?
Council President, we have Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Mr. Cradible, you're up.
Yes, good evening once again. Thanks for the opportunity to address you. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody, and just you know, I think we need to look back at the year and you know some of the good things that happened, but also some of the bad things that happened, and that includes the lives that were lost due to gun violence and a stabbing earlier this year. I asked at the last meeting why some of the murders were missing from the city's crime map, and I never heard back on that. Can Captain Miller give any insight as to why, for instance, the double homicide
Muted.
Field Street still does not appear on that map?
Captain Miller, do you want to comment?
Yeah, we looked into it. The homicides in particular, as we've talked about before, those investigations are under the control of the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office. When the original reports are done, they go in as aggravated assaults. So the crime mapping software we have picks them up that way. They're not classified as homicides until a little later. So we're working on an issue. I mean, it was a good point that Mr. Cradable brought up. So we're working on a system, even if we just have to hand load it in there to update change the aggravated assaults to homicides when they are classified that way by the prosecutor's office. So we thank Mr. Cradable for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and thank you for looking into it. I will say there's a number of other shooting incidents that were non-fatal that I also believe are missing from the map, but I'll follow up via email with Captain Miller and give him the details and allow him to look into it further. Can anybody tell me, you know, how many shootings there have been in the city this year or this month?
No. I know there's been at least one, if not more, and one is more than enough.
No. I think that, you know, to understand a problem and the scope of the problem, really the first step to wrapping your head around it is understanding the extent of the problem. The, you know, number of incidents would be to me, a fundamental metric that you would want to track so that you can see if it's getting better or getting worse, so that you can see, you know, the reality of the situation. And it troubles me, and I've, you know, brought it up a number of times, maybe not in the best way I could have, but I am really urging the police department strongly to begin tracking the number of shootings. And additionally, you may want to track the number of gun crimes, because I know there's a number of crimes where no shots are fired, but people use handguns to rob people or you know, threaten people. And you know, I think that this is a national problem. We have, you know, it's not just New Brunswick, but I feel like New Brunswick is dropping the ball on the most basic form of research, which is to look at our own data that we already have and do simple, basic analysis, more or less just counting the number of shooting incidents and tracking that. And I know that in the past, maybe and it was easy to discern the information. It may have taken him some time to get those figures for me, but I appreciated it, and I thought it was you know, probably not just valuable to me, but valuable to the department and to the public and the council to be able to keep track of how many shootings there have been in a given year. And you know, it's fine to say that, you know, one is too many, but what are we doing about it? And you know, Mr. Council President, what are you doing about it? And do you agree with me that it would be helpful to track the numbers?
No, I don't. I think the police department and everybody else in the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office is doing all they can, especially there. You know, some years it might be high, sometimes it might be low. But as I say, if it's one, then it's one too many. We also do have to do some education with our young people as they grow up too, and maybe some of our adults, and talking about knives and guns and doing something that, you know, both statewide and federal.
Council President, if I may say something, I think that it would be important for us as well as the community, based on some of the comments from the last meeting in terms of safety. I am pretty confident that the police department tracks the shootings and all the incidents in the city. So maybe, I'm pretty sure they have safety initiative and they're working on it. So I think it would be helpful for the next meeting if we could have Captain Miller give us a look at what had occurred in the city and what we have been doing. Because it seems like we're not doing anything, but I know we are doing something about it. The police is doing something, addressing the challenges. So I think it's important for people to know that there is something going on. If we do, we need to make it public and let them know that their safety concerns are heard and that we are doing something about it as a city.
Yes, and definitely.
I would appreciate that.
Go ahead, Mr. Cradiville.
I was just saying I would appreciate that and wish you all a happy holiday. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Council President. That's all for tonight. If you had something to say, I'd like to hear it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Again, a lot of them are in the process of being investigated. There's certain things that they can say and a lot of things they cannot say. Next up, Madam Clerk.
Council President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Ms. Moore, you're up. Go ahead.
Hi, yes, I would just like to start off with saying happy holidays to everyone. Have a safe, happy Christmas, happy New Year if I don't see anyone. I would say thank you for Code Blue last night here in New Brunswick to help keep the homeless and needy warm. I'm asking basically for the next couple of days with the snow and the cold, would there be Code Blues?
Yes, as long as it follows the criteria. So it will definitely, I'm sure with what temperatures they're talking about, it will still be on for a couple of nights and everything else. And I'd really like to thank all the volunteers that are there to help with this Code Blue.
Yes, I thank you too. Now, my dangerous situation that I called to the mayor's office yesterday about, which I think something should have been done because most townships and other cities have did it. That was where I feel that it's not safe, as much snow and ice as we're going to get, that the indoor dining should have, outdoor dining should have stayed open with their tents due to where the roads will not be plowed or the sidewalks will not be plowed properly, due to where it should have been all taken down, due to where I feel no one's going to be there the next few days anyway. But yes, due to where the roads and all, like I said, it wouldn't be plowed and heavy snow on all those tents. I was just told this morning when I called back, they would just keep heaters to melt the snow. But I really don't think that's going to be to keep with this storm, almost like a blizzard out there. I think the city, like I said, inspectors, where they need to search into things before something really goes on. And that's really a big concern down on George Street for outdoor dining still to be set up. But I would like to ask Council Member Escobar, without using my time, please, that due to where you answered the question, responded at the last meeting with the park over by Walgreens. Now, you said that's going to be turned into a park that you can walk in, correct? A walking
Ms. Moore, if you ask Councilwoman Escobar at this time, it is part of your 5 minutes. If you want to wait and get her response.
Last time.
You could,
Hello?
yes. Do you want her to comment during your 5 minutes, or you want her to comment once you're finished?
once I'm finished, because, okay, thank you, it will be better that way, because even with that gated up, I think it's a waste of city's money that you're really trying to change this park into something up. Even with gated up, please check into the police department or Robert Wood Johnson, how many cases they done still had to take people from drugs over there, even with that being gated up. That was 2 weeks ago, the moment when like I said, I went over there and handed out hand warmers. Wow, I put it on video on Facebook, another video. So like I said, that's a waste of money that the city is doing, changing that into a park so no one can be around. I think the police department needs to come in and, like I said, investigate, stop the crowd from coming around, because like I said, even with that being gated up, how I still have several pictures and videos of people with the police and ambulance responding to drug users there. And then the next thing I will say, getting back with the recycling, yes, it's a scam, and where it wasn't like where you just said now, because the first 2 years, that was when I started over Somerset Street. I was a new resident. I had to still buy the bin from the Department of Public Works. So that wasn't the situation. And like I said, it's a scam how the city really did to get people to buy the recycling bins. And for 2 years, with you saying no clear black bags, and then now you change it back to everyone, okay, if you're a new resident, you can get a free recycling bin after what, basically the whole city done bought bins already? Yes, that was a huge scam. And like I said, I have each paperwork where each time you did the ordinance of renewing it, saying that, okay, you never mentioned nothing about free. Why 2 years later, now you mentioned that the recycling bins are free if you're a new resident or if you want to trade it in?
Well, I think we've talked about that before, actually, and it has to do with your landlord too. So I'm not sure what they did with the recycling bins, but we've known all along that new residents can get 2 free. If it's a landlord, then he has to definitely help and ask for that.
Well, like I said, that wasn't the ordinance. That wasn't the ordinance that was put in for the past 2 years. Like I said, I still have the papers due to where I was the volunteer for the first year to pass it out.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Escobar. Would you like to comment?
No, I just want to say that I am not sure if the park is going to be gated. What I could do is try to get a diagram of what it is that they're going to do at the park, so Ms. Moore can have it and see it. But she's absolutely right. There is a lot of quality of life issues in that area. So hopefully with this, one of the many others, beautification projects for the French Street corridor, it will help to ameliorate all of those quality of life situations. But I will try to get her a sketch of how the park is going to look, at least the one, the last one that I saw. So maybe she has an idea of what is that they're trying to do there with the cooperation and partnership of the Esperanza project and the residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Captain Miller, if you could continue to control the area, we'd appreciate it. Who else? Who's there?
I'm sorry, Council President, this is Michael Droulis.
Go ahead, Mr. Droulis.
And Councilwoman Escobar, if it's easier, we could share the documents we have with Ms. Moore. Those, as I think you pointed out at the last meeting, it went through a public process. The public weighed in on it. Have those sketches. And if I could add, from my recollection of those sketches, it's an open plan, so the park will be far less restrictive in terms of fencing and elevations. It should be like more of a feeling of an open plaza. The only restrictions would be try to block vehicular traffic for the safety of people in the park. So if it's okay with you, Ms. Moore, if you'd like, you can reach out to my office tomorrow and I can make sure you get a digital version of the most recent public sketch.
Thank you, Mr. Julius. That would be nice. Thanks.
And again, a reminder that the downtown tents and all heaters will remain on, and they have some specific instruments where they can take care of some of the snow and the ice and the water that's around. So that will be there. Again, take care of that. Be very careful out there, again, with everybody. If you don't have to be out, please don't be out. Let the people from Public Works, et cetera, do their job. Don't forget for the residents to do their job, landlords to do their job. And if everybody does their job, maybe that'll be good. Okay? Anybody else?
Motion adjourned.
Motion is made to
Second.
adjourn. Second, roll call.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig. Yes. Council President Anderson.
Yes, happy holidays to everyone. Thank you.